For today's video, we're going to talk about what it takes to become wealthy. We're just going to start off right now, just get straight to the point. And I think the biggest thing to remember is you can become wealthy from absolutely anything. Everybody thinks that, oh, there's only a few different ways that, oh, you can become really wealthy, you know what I mean? But that's not for me. That you can become wealthy doing absolutely anything. I feel like that's just a huge misconception in general. You could be a fast food employee and become wealthy. You can be anybody and become wealthy. It doesn't matter your situation. You know, you can become wealthy. There's no limits. The only limits you set right here. And that's why I'm always I've never been the biggest fan of, you know, when someone sees someone with a lot of money, or you know what I mean, expensive belongings, they say, oh, what do you do? If you really wanted to get some good information, you'd ask, where are they investing their time and money into? Instead of what do you do, ask where are they investing their time and money into. You'll get a way better answer, and generally the answer will be more beneficial to you because you can apply what they said to your life and grow off of that. Another important thing to remember is that wealth is a mindset. Wealth is who you are as a person. You are wealthy. Just because you have certain belongings does not make you wealthy. It's who you are and what your mindset is, how you think, what you know. That is what makes you wealthy. I mean, when they asked Henry Ford what would happen if everything was taken away, he said he'd have it back in just a few years, because it's not what he had, it's what he knows. And another very important thing that applies to always think different than the majority. Majority of people, you know, they're like, they follow the same paths. You know, it's just a herd mentality. Let's do what everybody else does. But in result, guess what? They end up just like everybody else, which is, you know, I mean, just following the path that someone else tells them. They get, you know, they get a job. They just go from paycheck to paycheck. You know what I mean? Keep digging the bad debt hole. You know what I mean? That's all they're doing. And when you think differently than majority, a lot of times, as long as you apply yourself and you have a very good, you know what I mean, a ready to go, a go-getter mindset, that's what we'll call it, a go-getter mindset. Once you apply that to life, you will become more successful than everybody else. You think differently, you will be more successful than everybody else. Because most people are not successful, therefore you got to think different than the majority. Which also leads us to risking it for the biscuit. Majority of people, when they see risk, they're freaking getting up, they're running away. You know, they don't want to risk anything. But when in reality, risk is what separates the people who are moderate and below versus people who are highly successful. Highly successful people are not scared to take risks, which you should carry into your life. You know what I mean? Because that's another thing you got to remember. You know what I mean? When your life is over, how many regrets are you going to have? You know, are you going to regret not taking that risk? Because I know I sure would. That's why I'm going to take every risk possible that I feel I need to take. Which is another thing, is calculated risk. So the risk, not just like, let's say you're looking for an investment property, you're just, you know, I'm just going to sit there, open up Zillow, or it's a residential listing app, just scroll through just with my eyes closed and just tap a random one. It doesn't work like that. It's a calculated risk. That's how you become very successful. Other advice I can give is always preparing for the worst. You know what I mean? You never can go out and then go, oh, I'm just going to be wealthy, there's going to be no roadblocks. Because if that was the case, everybody would be wealthy, let's be real. For example, in my situation, I'm talking about, I'm interested in real estate and stock market investing, but a majority of my, you know what I mean, focus is on real estate. Preparing for the worst, you got LLCs, or for example entities, to protect your property, equity stripping, a lot of techniques that you can use to prevent yourself from a lawsuit. You may never get sued, but when you do, you're going to thank yourself for preparing. Another thing is, you have to be able to get back up after failing. That's the biggest thing ever. You know, I mean, a lot of people, majority of people are, you know, once they fail once, they're just going to go, oh, you know what, maybe it's not for me, and they're going to move on. Guess what? They're going to freaking 20 years from now, they're going to regret that decision for sure. So that's why I say no to backup plans. Backup plans, you already have that thing of failure in your head. That's why I'm living my life with no backup plans, for example. Backup plans, a lot of times people fall back on them too early. You know, let's say something goes wrong, an investment goes wrong, just completely downhill. majority of people will just X out. But what would have, maybe if you would have stayed investing for maybe 1 or 2 more months, you would have your best investment ever. You'd be more successful than you ever have. And that's why you live life with no regrets and you keep following your dreams. Never stop. Don't call it a dream, call it a plan. Another thing is, I feel like don't overthink the situation. Just because you don't know everything, that doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. Because you learn through failing. And you apply to failure, the lesson from the failure, to future. Guess what? Then you're going to notice you're making less mistakes. You're becoming more of a well-rounded investor. That's what you got to do. Instead of, obviously, you only truly fail if you quit. That's just, you just got to throw quitting out of your mind. You just got to get it out of here. So don't overthink just because you don't know everything. You know what I mean? Learn as you go. You know, you're never going to know every single thing in the whole world. You're never going to know. It's impossible. There's not one person on this world you can ask any question in the whole world and they're going to be like, oh, I know the answer. It doesn't work like that. So don't overthink. And also just imagine, you know what I mean? When you're thinking about making a risky decision, you're having doubt. Think about, are you going to regret that decision? How many of those decisions are going to haunt you for the rest of your life? Limit those. Never have any regrets. So like back to it is, the main idea is anybody can become wealthy. You just got to have the right mindset. You just have to apply yourself. For my personal method to gaining true wealth is real estate, which if you look at the, you know what I mean, a lot of the wealthiest individuals in the world, that's one of the most popular reasons. I mean, obviously no one else to pick it. I mean, I enjoy it, and that's my path to wealth, and that's what I'm going to do. But really, you can become wealthy doing anything. For example, you know what I mean? You think about anything that you like to do. You can make a business out of it. You can make a legit business about anything. You can invest, you know. And lastly, you need the I will attitude. Throw I should, I can't, and I need to out of your vocabulary. I will do this, I will do that. That's what I say all the time. I repeat it, you know what I mean? I repeat it out loud. I will get my car collection, I will get my huge estate, you know what I mean? I'm gonna have a beautiful family and be a very successful investor. And I tell that to myself every time. Never, I don't even remember the last day I haven't said that. It's because I'm putting that in my head. It's like engraving it, you know what I mean? I can't take that on my head. That's all I think now. And that's what's gonna make me extremely successful. So the last thing to do is just reflect on these. Think about what you could do to make yourself more successful and act on it. Don't say, I need to do this. Say, I will do this. Act now. Live life with no regrets. Thank you very much for watching.